We're so happy to see you. How you doing, you beautiful man?
Okay. Hello, everyone. Come on, please, please, please. Okay, thank you. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay, alright. Okay, this is going good. This is going good. Like, no! Come on, please. 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 Alright. Hello, everyone. I'm doing a reaction to the brand new Standard Sides video. We have been waiting for this for a very long time, and I am very, very happy for you to watch it. Very happy for you to watch it. So, I saw on the beginning how it's going to be a video game based, a video game based one, but we've already seen that in the trailer that Thomas gave to us. So, let's watch it. Looks like he's at the wedding. More crush.
Thomas! Oh my gosh, you made it! We're so happy to see you. How you doing, you beautiful man? Oh, I'm sorry for calling you beautiful. That was weird. My bad. You could call me beautiful, Mary Lee. I always do beautiful. We love each other. Hence the marriage. Anyway, what's new, Thomas? Anything exciting going on in your life? Hey, you okay, buddy? You look real sad in this photo I just took. No worries. I'll help you out. And we have the couple for their first dance.
Who's M Key?
So great seeing you.
Is that just like a thing? It's probably just a thing. I'll look it up later. I like that. That's cool.
Guess who just got a
Come back to the
Alfred
Hitchcock Lucas movie.
When is the
Call
callback?
back in the team.
He has a prior engagement
Engagement
that
that
day.
day.
The wedding. Nobody's
Perfect.
Except for
Done.
Thomas.
He loves his friends.
I want to go to the callback. I hereby sentence
He's
you
new
to
to
1 day in
the
St. Clement's Chapel on the day
me
of
and Lee and Mary's wedding.
What the f***, everybody? Now, kiddo, if you're gonna dish out F's, why don't we make them friendly hugs? F friends, Patton. Wait, you're talking about friendly hugging your friends? No! Thomas, you should never... I'm surprised that you would say something like that about your friends. I always thought
Which is very
that when it came to your
overprotective is
pals,
kind of
that
what
sort of
it's
language would be... Oh, it's very affable. It's affable as F. With a situation this... Dumb. You're not at all... excited for them? With so much FU's thrown about, I doubt there's much he'd like to FU's about. Right, what do you mean, am I not... Okay, you know what? Let's review. Let's do. Thank you. I hope we rhyme like this the whole way through. I hope so too. Yoo-hoo! So, let's start with the fact that the wedding was a total bust. It was. It's just that Gone didn't pay off quite like we discussed. You mustn't think that going to a wedding to support your friends would have any sort of self-serving ends. I don't, but how about more than just hello? There are some things iffy. Glad you're with me. That the state of things is icky. Is there something here we're missing? No! I mean, you know that we've gone through all of this before. Before had helped you make the proper choice of wedding over your... Spare me the rest. Yeah, but calling for a film that could have been my break. Yeah, you could say. And no one wanted you to go more than that sluggy snip. Pushed to do the egocentric thing auditioning. That's the sin. Part to be so hard to let me bust and see. If our goals align with this, what would that say? For your sake, you were saying that we both both have lost our way. In your face I saw this pain, and so I made this choice. And now I have a restless head. Am I bad? I'll just feel this way. What way?
Mine is, like his glass eye, it turned, like, white. It did the anime thing. Like, one, though. I don't know what that was.
It is a pity to admit he could have done more than just sitting at
This is a bop, though.
Reviewing. Okay. Boy, how could such an upsetting conversation happen in such a fun way? Oh, why didn't they just talk to us more? Wait a minute. Why didn't I just talk to them before the wedding? I mean, I kind of brought that up before, but it got shut down faster than an Antarctic ice pop shop, so... Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I could have just told them everything. If my one interaction with them was any indication, they obviously wouldn't have cared if I wasn't there at all. Maybe so. Wait, are you having second thoughts about choosing to go to the wedding, Roman? Oh, no. Of course not. I just wish we could have known how they felt. Maybe it could have, I don't know, made things a little easier for us. Well, yeah, hindsight is 20/20, so... Okay, but if you're a sighted person with less than 20/20 vision, you don't just ignore whatever you see in front of you. I see. We should start looking into ways to predict the future. No. Very good. What I'm saying is I know Lee and Mary Lee. I can predict how they might act in specific situations. I know that they are very understanding people, and I should have used that knowledge. That would have been using foresight. But I didn't do that. So I made a decision with a blindfold on. But in Patton's defense, people are complicated fickle things, aren't they? You think you know someone and then wham, out of nowhere, they fill your apartment with feral cats, and now you're somehow responsible for the vet bills? You've got to give them away, but despite your cat allergy, you've endeared yourself to them, especially to Mrs. Snuffles. I like Mrs. Sniffles because of the allergy. Your point. Foresight isn't really the most reliable tool.
I think he's...
Cool, so we don't use it at all? We did use it.
Nah, never mind.
You've known Lee and Mary Lee for most of your life, and they always lent a helping hand when you needed it. That's true. When your car broke down an hour out of town, who was the only person willing to come out and give you a jump? Mary Lee. I don't know what good she thought jumping would do. What you needed was somebody to fix your car. And Lee always had my back in high school after I came out. Exactly. Now here, they met up with you face to face to tell you about their wedding engagement. Biggest day of their lives. And they asked you if you could be there. I wasn't even like a groomsman or anything. Well, it's not Lee's fault that he has so many brothers. Catholics. Catholics. Those baby-making Catholics. They didn't have the first clue how it would make them feel. You thinking about giving their wedding a pass, all because of a callback that really might not work out. And not that you're not a talented guy. No, yeah. Dame Judi Dench, or as I like to call her, Queen Groovy Binge, didn't land her first big Hollywood movie role until she was 61. So maybe they understand. But maybe they still really want you to go to the wedding and feel too guilty to say so. Or maybe you end up going to the wedding, and they feel guilty seeing you there because they feel like they took a big opportunity away from you, but they wouldn't have felt that way. But we didn't know that. Foresight means thinking about every possibility. Talking to them about it could have been harmful. And this was our chance to be there for them when it counted. Was not talking to them worth it, though? I don't know. Whatever happened to karma, you know? You do something good, good stuff happens to you. Right, yeah, why is the saying, karma's a bitch? Why can't it be, karma is a very fair person? Why does their complexion matter? Well, kiddo, unfortunately, life isn't always like your video games. Sometimes you can make all the good choices and still not get the good ending. I don't know if there even was a good ending to get. I'm pretty sure there was. Jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. Roman, that actually does sound Jolly good. I mean, sure, it does sound very jolly, and we can all agree that you are a good fellow. Can we all agree on that? Oh, yes, I can. We can all. Okay. I understand now that I have been a little much the mayor of Munchkinland. Sure, when it comes to giving Thomas the third degree on his integrity. Right. And yeah, it is my job to keep you on Santa's nice list. But I haven't been making you feel very nice. I don't want to make you think you're some stupid, dirty, rotten, filthy, silly, Billy, no good for nothing, white, rat, scoundrel. Okay, thank you, Rowan. You're welcome. I'm done asking. Is Thomas a good person?
I hope to God I saw that was really, that'd be so funny.
As a good bud should. Okay, well, that's a relief. So yeah, you are a good fella, but not every
I hear
good
game
fella
music.
gets a big award. Holy Joe Pesci. Well, what do we get? Sometimes, just this. A bagel? What? No, maybe. No, nothing. It's nothing. Aw, sometimes you can't get anything because a lot of the time, people need something more than you do. Like, let's say you pass by some sort of stop where you can buy games.
Game store.
Store. You mean the internet? I'm not going outside. Oh, come on, Roman. Video games mean so much indoor time that they should cost a little outdoor time, don't you think? Anyway, you see a poster for the latest installment in the Frogger franchise. Oh, you're such a dad. Buddy, Frogger's not really a big thing anymore. And they're missing out. There is no video game character as cool as Frogger. Heck, he eats fly for breakfast. Oh, okay. And trying to cross a busy road without losing his froggy life? Woo! Talk about riveting. Like, you're such a dad that it's too much to handle sometimes. Anyway, everyone's raving about the new Frogger. Best one yet. Amazing graphics. At least 16 graphics. Do you even know what you're saying right now? And, oh, yay! It's on sale for about, I don't know, as much as a hot dog is worth that. And that's how much you get when you return a game. You have just enough money to buy it, but as you walk up to the door, you're stopped by a homeless, down-on-his-luck actor. And who is it? Whoever you want.
Who is it?
How is Thomas supposed to feel sympathy for this person if he has no one to visualize?
Is it a side?
It's, Leslie.
No, it's not.
Jr. What? Why Leslie? I need backstory for this. What happened, Pat? I don't know. He spilled his drink on Steven Sondheim at a party, and Sondheim
We all
said,
thought, but
gosh darn it, Leslie.
oh well.
You'll never work in this razzle-dazzle town again. He should just move to another town, right? Wow, this hypothetical version of Steven Sondheim sounds like a real mother crupper. So, Mr. Odom Jr. tells you that he's very hungry.
God, I look like a ghost.
To a nearby hot dog vendor.
Ew.
It's just a few away by the liquid lipstick of William Shakespeare. A hot dog would cost Thomas his entire Frogger fund. It's all coming together. What do? Pretend you're talking on the phone so he leaves you alone? Tell him, I don't have any money, Leslie. Hightail it the heck out of here. Buy him a hot dog or...
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that.
And I really want this Frogger thing. Yeah, you do. You woke up at 6 a.m. dull to go and get it. 6 a.m. dull? You mean sharp? No, that's really early for you. So you weren't quite able to get out of bed until like 6:08. Well, regardless, of course, I buy him the hot dog. So you mustered up the will to give him a dinner that he could relish. Only, when he takes the hot dog,
he could relish.
he away without thanking you. What do you do now? Do you say, you're welcome, in a way that lets him know you think he was rude? Do you prompt him by saying, what do you say? Do you physically take the hot dog back? Or do you go about your day? I mean, there's an obvious right answer here. Please don't
Head
tell me you're
home.
going to wrestle Tony Award-winning actor Leslie Odom Jr. for a hot dog. What? No. I'm going to go about my day. Even though he didn't say thank you, he doesn't have to. Just like you didn't have to get him a hot dog. I feel like you kind of do, though. Maybe. You don't need the new Frogger. Well, no one needs a new Frogger. Why do you think Thomas has to give the money back? Well, because that money was going to a luxury item. In that situation, it's so easy. It's all right in front of you. A hungry person comes up to you and says, I need food. And the food I need is right there. You have the money. and it wasn't going to something you needed. You can disagree, but I feel like it might be kinda wrong to keep the money for yourself. Mamma mia! Jesus
It would be
Christ, superstar! What is that? It's just me, Logan. I'm taking this form because I didn't want to be too invasive. You very much did not succeed. What'd you do, in Logan? Well, determining what feels right or wrong for you
God, I didn't mean it. What?
isn't really my area of expertise. Seeing how there's not much left at stake at this juncture, and that regret, unfortunately, is a process that can't
I'm sorry that there's like a thing in front of there.
be expedited. I decided that I need not expend too much energy on this matter. However, I felt that it would behoove all parties and
Come on. Come
if I
on.
provided relevant information to serve as supporting evidence to any of the arguments that are made during today's discussion. Neato! So you're making your little factoids optional this time around. Facts. Factoid is a term coined by Norman Miller to describe false facts invented for magazines in order to manipulate their readers. And yes, I suppose they could be viewed as optional, your two options being informed or ignorant. Oh, I've got this one, guy.
No.
I'm just getting Roman. You shouldn't push people's buttons. Enough joking around, Roman. Go on, Logan. Jesus Christ, superstar. Thank you, Thomas. Oh! Guess I won't be wrestling a hot dog away from Logan. Sorry. Please go ahead, Logan. Oh, holy hero, we got a read. It would be an estimated annual cost of $20 billion to eliminate homelessness in the United States, according to Mark Johnston, lost all that. Okay, Americans spend more than $20 billion on Christmas decorations and flowers every year, so it would seem that many Americans do have the currency to spare to end homelessness in the United States forever. Whew, okay, I'm not doing that again. I am sorry. That was too fast. Can you, one more time, Roman? Huh? Yeah, I guess everyone doing their small part for those in need could make a difference. And even if I can't change things on my own, something as little as briefly helping a greatly troubled, prodigious actor would still give me more pleasure than playing Frogger. Well, yeah! I mean, it's Frogger we're talking about. Like, it's not like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, as long as that's not the main reason you're doing it. What? Oh, well, you shouldn't do a good thing just because it makes you feel good.
What?
You literally said the opposite to Deceit when we were back in the courtroom. Yeah, I did. But we all agreed that in that situation, the right thing to do was go to the wedding, which
Okay, you just basically lost a lot.
at all. So, I was wrong. Not to mention, Deceit said that you'd be doing the right thing for a selfish reason if you did it for your own emotional gain. And you agree? Definitely. Maybe? Great. I love that movie. I mean, you know, I think so. What do you think? Oh, well, I think we all know I'm not exactly an expert in the moral medium. No, go ahead, Roman. I'd like to hear from you. Okay. I
Wish that you would have gone. That's
Why?
basically what you want to say.
What do you mean? Oh, do something. You're stupid. Oh, no, please.
Oh my god, you poor thing.
Okay. So, like, say a very handsome prince. I don't know. Leslie Odom Jr. Oh, wow.
Why?
Son, I couldn't keep
Why is it
down.
always...
Yeah, that's right. From homeless and royally screwed to castle-dwelling royalty, too. Just your typical Tuesday. Anyway, Leslie offers up a reward. What's the reward? Leslie's famous cake. Phrase it. What? Leslie's literal cake that he baked. Oh my gosh. He offers it to whosoever is able to rescue his kingdom from the clutches of the skewed-bellied tyrant who is
Ooh, look at
currently
D.
occupying
That's very nice.
Even if someone rescued the kingdom for the reward, I don't know. I just
Dang.
feel like it doesn't make
Yo,
much
really?
difference.
Oh, wait, what did Logan say?
All of the
I thought he said something. Hold on. I'm sorry. I just want to see what he said.
Yeah, that's right. From homeless and royally screwed to
Handsome
castle-dwelling
household
royalty
dude.
to just your
Typical Tuesday.
Anyway,
I'm gonna use that.
Leslie's famous cake. Phrase it. What? Leslie's literal cake that he baked. Oh my gosh. He offers it to whosoever is able to rescue his kingdom from the clutches of the stew-bellied tyrant who is
Skeet's the short
occupying
of a snake. Okay, I was just saying.
Rescue the kingdom for the reward? I don't know. I just feel like
time poorly
it
spent.
doesn't make much of a difference. So all of the denizens are liberated?
Time wasted.
That is something.
Y'all saw that in the purple, right?
If
Y'all can rewind if you want. I'm not doing that again.
everyone was saved. While Patlin, way to be a side with valid doubts about a complex moral issue. Of course, I think it's good that the kingdom is safe. That's great. The most important thing. But yeah, you know, the people.
I just told you that you need to go back and look at some things sometimes.
Slimy hands of this
God.
reptilian rapscallion. I was
Why?
just blanking on the word guy, but you know, sure. People are being hurt by this reptilian with scallions, you know, and this person.
Why do you hate him so much?
I just want to earn.
I don't understand. I'm a deceit stan, so I don't
It doesn't sound like a very
understand.
good person to me. Yeah, probably not. Fair enough, but I wouldn't even argue for that much. Saving people for a reward is totally different from helping someone out just because it feels nice to help. Like, if the person in Roman's scenario saved the kingdom just because it made them feel good, then no one would argue that they aren't a good person. Well, I mean, maybe not. Am I not allowed to feel good if I do something good? Of course you are. That's just not why you do it. At least, I don't think so. But I mean, your morality, you're the guy who makes that call. So why do we do it? Well, you don't do it because it makes you feel good. You do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay. How do we know it's the right thing to do? You just know. Okay. That's not exactly the kind of answer I was hoping for, but, well, it's kind of just in all of us, you know? Why is killing and stealing illegal everywhere? Why do we all agree that that's not okay to do? I think it all comes back to empathy. Humans understand each other. We know what feels good and what causes pain. If a whole kingdom is in danger, well, everyone kind of knows that the right thing to do, if you can save a large group of innocent people, is save them. Well, okay. What about, let me ask you this. What if you can only save the large group of people by hurting another innocent
Oh, I've
person?
seen this. It's the
That
trolley
causes
thing.
pain, but you said the right thing to do is to save the group. Oh, you
Wait.
can't hurt an innocent person. Understand
Wait.
each other. We know what.
Hold on a second here. Let me just move this down. You better not.
If a whole
Thank you,
kingdom
computer.
is in danger,
Come on. You got this.
well, everyone kind of knows that the right thing to do, if you
Come
can save a large group of innocent people, is save them.
them.
Well, okay. What about
Trolley effect. Please.
Let me ask you this. What if you can only save the large group of people by hurting another innocent
Can't.
person? That causes pain, but you said the right thing to do
Please, please, please.
is to save the group.
Denial.
Oh,
Denial?
you can't hurt an innocent person.
Thomas is full of dread. And it's gonna run over Joan and all those people because
Constructive criticism, you know, maybe not.
that scenario is called the classic trolley system.
Okay.
Or the trolley problem, as Logan says. Turn coin by two another whoever I
Really
can.
not trying to argue with you, Captain. But you said everyone.
Oh, wait. It was Leslie on the thing, like on the other side, kill Leslie, and then it was all AJ his friend. What?
People when you can.
Come
Is
on.
that not always
Thank
true?
you.
Well, not when it's like that.
Okay, well, my computer, once again, has died. But it's okay. Hey, this is almost an hour long. Gonna be here for a while. Gonna be here for a while. Okay, it literally just started. And if it's long enough, I might actually use this for my thing. Come on, talk to me.
To hurt an innocent person. So that.
What happened?
The other. Roman. I don't want to use the T word in this house. Oh, sorry. So the rule about.
Come
not
on.
hurting people
Thank you.
overrules the rule
Can we just pause it real quick? Let's let my computer think for a bit.
about saving people. Yeah, that makes sense,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But what about the people
Now
that
it's
got
180p.
hurt? That was a terrible tragedy.
Don't get me wrong, I
You couldn't do
love
anything about it,
180p.
but you could have done something. You could have redirected the train. But
There's
that something wasn't an okay thing to do. Okay, so it's not about the end result then. It's about the how. Like how you do whatever you do. Right. The how. And the why. But you don't let the train hit the group of people because you think they deserve to get hit more than the one person.
those were his friends.
My blinds! I'm so sorry. Did you break my blinds? I popped up too close there. Oh. Thanks, Roman. You really cut the tension there. You okay? Oh, yeah, I'm great. Sure? Yeah, I'm good. Figment of your imagination. So, okay. So, about the whole why thing.
I wonder what that whole thing said.
What is a good
Too bad this is 180p.
why I should do good? Yeah, I know you said earlier you do it because it's right. So, I guess what I'm asking is, what do I do it for? What's the outcome? What motivates me? I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I would say
This is probably gonna cut a lot of time.
into the world.
But oh my god, I hope that.
I wish that was a more satisfying answer, but it just isn't. You know, I'm not doing a really great job explaining this philosophy. Logan, what would a real philosopher think about what I'm saying here? Well, Friedrich Nietzsche really wouldn't have been thrilled with anything you had to say, primarily because pity seems to be at the center of your idea of putting good into the world. That's not what Nietzsche famously rejected the notion that pity was a virtue. He once claimed that pity runs counter to the instincts that preserve and enhance the value of life. So Thomas is... Well, you can't exactly learn how to care about others from others. It's okay, I don't really agree with the mustache meister either. He does have a super duper unique mustache. What he calls pity, I call empathy, and empathy is good.
Stupid
But
mustache.
I really don't understand what I need to change so that I can meet your standard of having the right motivation. I think I understand. Your desires are getting in the way. The problem is, in all honesty, that you want to spend your money on that new Frogger game more than you want. Or even think to give your money to the homeless. And,
Oh my god, no. Oh,
and that
baby.
you wanted to go to that callback more than you wanted to support your friends. The blame falls to me. If you're missing that do-gooder drive, I think it's because I'm in the driver's seat. And I'm an awful driver.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should let Pat take the wheel. Roman, I I only mean well when I say that that is the stupidest thing you have ever said. No, Thomas. You're just blowing smoke. Really, Roman? It's the opposite. I need you on my team more than anyone. If we're talking about a drive or Thomas's will, then there's honestly no side more helpful than you. I guess. But I get why Roman's confused. Patton, I don't know what form the drive you're talking about would take. Everything I do is motivated by some sort of feeling. I eat because I feel hungry. I drink because I feel thirsty. I don't know what feeling would motivate me to go out and do good, if not some sense of self-satisfaction. The only thing I'm feeling right now is guilt over the things that do motivate me. Which kind of makes me not want to do anything. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry about whatever I said to make you feel that way. Doing nothing is even worse. What? Never mind. I'm sorry. Worse? Worse than what? I don't know if I should say. You might as well. I'm kind of scared, too. Look, Patton, I already feel bad, so
What do you
I'd rather
mean?
not feel bad and confused.
What do you mean?
Doing nothing is worse than doing a good thing for the wrong reasons. Like, we talked about how you have to, I think it's good to give your money to a good cause if you're planning to spend it on something you don't need. And I feel like the same principle kind of goes for spending time. Maybe time spent serving up knuckle sandwiches to bad guys in a video game could maybe be better spent serving up soup and sandwiches to the hungry in a local shelter. I have a difference of opinion on this one, Pat. I'm sure we're all familiar with the somewhat tired metaphor for self-care. You must put on your own oxygen mask before helping your fellow passenger. An analogy that warns against the practice of helping others with their personal issues when you yourself are in need of help. I do need help. It's ironic that illustration is so overused at this point because it has almost become as easy to tune out that advice as it is to tune out the actual safety instructions on a flight. Easy and very dangerous. In the event that a plane cabin becomes depressurized, you do not have long to secure your oxygen mask before you risk your oxygen saturation levels dropping too much, leading to hypoxia, which is just insufficient oxygen for life functions. Hypoxia symptoms can include an inability to communicate, confusion, unconsciousness, and possible death. 3 out of 4 of those are normal for me. Do I have hypoxia right now? Having heard a piece of information before does not give you license to ignore it in the future, especially when the consequences of forgetting are so perilous. Logan, I completely agree with you, but I really don't see how that relates to what we're talking about. Yeah, Logan, like you said earlier, this isn't really your area of expertise. Patton never said Thomas couldn't help himself, especially in a situation as dire as putting on an oxygen mask in a ground-bound plane. Of course I wouldn't say that. I've agreed in the past that Thomas should take the time to make sure he's doing okay and to temporarily put himself first if he needs to. And just like all of the moral dilemmas we've been discussing, it can seem easy to confidently state what you would do in a difficult situation without legitimately knowing how you would behave when your instincts take over. In theory, you believe Thomas can and should take some time to care for himself, but every point you've made in today's discussion has contradicted that sentiment. What? How? I don't think video games versus community service is a threat to Thomas taking care of himself. Nearly every answer Patton has given to the moral questions throughout this discussion has suggested that a moral life is a life without spending surplus capital and time on leisure activities. Dr. Robert A. Stebbins defined leisure as activity engaged in during free time which people want to do and actually do in either a satisfying or a fulfilling way or both. Leisure means experiencing freedom. It's your time and you do what you want with it, which in turn contributes to a feeling of control and improved self-esteem. A lack of control and self-esteem are two factors that you all now understand can worsen Thomas's relationship with intrusive thoughts, and they have. Additionally, Doctors Iwasaki, Messina, and Hopper wrote that leisure time promotes a joyful life. And if that isn't enough, pleasurable activities stimulate the production of neurochemicals, which can then improve one's physical health. Leisure is something that Thomas needs more of in his life in order to feel like he has a life. And Patton is essentially suggesting that Thomas isn't being as good of a person as he'd like him to be if he doesn't sacrifice his life for others.
Whoa! That is not what I said.
Oh, is it not? Please, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're wrong.
So if it was between Thomas's life or another's, you don't think Thomas should give his life up?
Whoa,
Oh, and this other person is an innocent little lamb.
Okay,
Or how about a group of innocents?
I don't actually, I would like to know, Patton, what should Thomas do in that kind of situation? I don't know. Maybe. It's okay, please calm down. We do all think of people who lay down their lives for others as the greatest heroes, so I don't know.
You don't know? Earlier you suggested that all people naturally understand right and wrong.
So he...
Should Thomas die so that others may live?
Yes, I mean, maybe, or maybe not. What do I know? What you think, Thomas, if it's your life, or Leslie's?
Find a slow-witted Heracles, Patton. Leave Leslie out of this one.
But how is Thomas supposed to feel empathy for this person if he has no one to visualize?
Is there no one else he can feel empathy for?
You're right, bro. Thomas's life. Or Lee and Mary Louise. What do you say, Thomas? I don't know the right answer here. It's up to you.
Oh, God.
This isn't working. This entire conversation has become so muddled due to a constant misleading misuse of conscientious language. You'll need a sharp side to cut through all this bull. Frog, a sort of subterfuge specialist. The art of lies. Unhappy to oblige.
What?
Rapscallion, we've got a code yellow. Deceit. What have you done with Logan? Nothing at all, but I resent the question. Hold on. What are you talking about, Deceit? Who's misleading who? Patton's misleading you.
Slugwash. I may be amphibian, but I can't say that I'm amphibian.
That's richer than Jeff Bezos coming from the self-proclaimed Lord of the Wise.
To keep it hot with the wordplay, it never gets old.
He didn't mislead you on purpose, Thomas.
I don't think the little guy, or the big frog, is capable of that sort of thing.
He may have just threatened the life of Broadway's original Aaron Burr himself. Leave our rosy-cheeked riveter alone.
Patton, I think that's the direction that you're going with your rhetoric, sprinkling in a few maybes, who knows, or what do you think? Why are you doing that? Because I found out that I was being too tough on Thomas and it was driving him hopping mad. So, I tried to share my thoughts in a softer way.
Right, because making Thomas feel inadequate for not dying in someone else's stead isn't tough at all. Here's the thing, Patton. Pushy is pushy. That faux flexible rhetoric that you're using to soften your approach doesn't change your intentions. It just disguises them.
That was just a hypothetical. Patton's not actually suggesting that Thomas should pursue martyrdom. Right, I don't want Thomas to croak. That's my job.
We're talking about what-ifs, worst-case scenario kind of stuff.
What I am saying is, Thomas has a really good life that other people don't. You're over there talking about putting on your oxygen mask before helping another passenger, but we're not in a crashing plane. If the situation was that serious, then sure, he can focus entirely on himself. But does he deserve it? I don't know. Man, I don't know if I can believe whatever you tell me. Treating yourself is something that you can take too far.
You can take
Dang.
anything too far.
Thomas is dead.
Taking things too far. The plane is going down. You need to give Thomas some room to breathe.
I
I really don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
I can't not know. Patton, what do you
Oh.
say? We
My
can still beat him,
heart.
but we've beaten him before. Ow! Sorry, I have not looked in this direction the whole time. Don't give up now. That's right. I'm bringing this plane down. What? How? He's the actual snake on the plane. And I, for one, am tired of this morality-fighting snake on this metaphorical plane. You know, I'm actually glad you brought up the oxygen mask illustration again, Pat. And that means you're not glad, right? Of course not. He's just trying to build up a false confidence in you so that you can plummet to even greater depths. That does sound like a very funny, wholesome prank, but no, I mean it. The idea is that you need not reach for your oxygen mask unless the plane is crashing. But when you apply that logic to real life, the analogy falls apart. A plane going down is an emergency. But self-care shouldn't be put off until you experience a mental health crisis. Mental health management is a little more like training to be a lifeguard. You have to spend time practicing and preparing and building up your strengths so that when you're inevitably faced with an emergency, you're better equipped to handle it. Wait, but you just used a job that's all about helping others as a metaphor for me putting myself first. Yeah, Joy! I realized that before you brought it up. Just as I'm sure you realize a metaphor someone makes up on the spot isn't going to be perfect. How about this? So, in some games, you have to use your turn to give yourself a power boost or to heal yourself. And even though that move only benefits you in that instant, it ultimately makes you a more helpful party member. Not that any of you care, but I am unharmed, and I don't want to talk about it. I'm just here to deliver one last fact, then I will do you all a favor and spare you my company. Oh, Logan, Peter Singer is an Australian philosopher and activist who champions the movement known as effective altruism. The primary feature that differentiates effective altruism from other moral philosophies is its practicality. It employs the heart and the mind, so that effective altruism can earn its namesake and actually be effective. The aim is to help as many people as possible while maintaining a perfectly adequate standard of living. So, a poor, sick person giving 5 of their last 15 cents to an aid organization, while incredibly altruistic, is not effective altruism because that money won't go very far. And the act would only harm that person's already unacceptable standard of living. Fellow effective altruist William McCaskill recommends that people who can, and are inclined to, should go into fields like banking or finance because more money earned means more money to give. Right, like I said, I need to give myself a buff so that I can better help others. And you need to maintain an adequate standard of living. You can't forget that part. If the variety of generosity that you subscribe to leaves you feeling depressed or like your life isn't your own, then you need to reevaluate things. What do you know? If it came down to video games or volunteering at a local shelter, it actually might be okay to prioritize gaming sometimes, if video games are an essential ingredient in your recipe for self-care. Emphasis on the sometimes, though, right? We should still try to help those in need. Whatever, sure, if that's your thing. I mean, totally, yes, of course. But mental health should be regarded with the same life or death attitude as physical health. You've been taught to feel guilty for taking care of yourself. But you were also taught that Christopher Columbus was a pretty cool guy. A lot of your education was, of course, in the past. So what? We're supposed to do a complete 360 and head right back into Selfish City? You mean a 180? Don't you talk to me about math. You're not Fogan anymore. That's Faux Logan. If you're too slogan, you're right. So why don't we move on to something we're both familiar with, Roman? Mistakes. I was actually very impressed with you. You made such a noble sacrifice. Don't try to flatter me, Snake. I don't need to flatter you now, Roman. I mean this. You, in particular, made a significant sacrifice when you sentenced Thomas to attend the wedding instead of the callback. That was a costly choice. Thomas lost a huge opportunity and a good amount of mental health points in the name of being there for his friends. He didn't get anything out of it other than a new high score in Word Crush. That's the closest to an act of true selflessness that I believe is possible. And look, it served no one. Lee and Mary Lee seem to have appreciated Thomas showing face as much as they would have appreciated any other guest's attendance. So if they gained nothing, and we lost something, then it was a net loss. So maybe selflessness isn't always the answer. Okay, well, that's over and done with, so what now? You need to unlearn that selfish is a dirty word. And for your sake, you need to start practicing a little more selfishness. In moderation, as all things should be. Well, almost all things. What do you mean by almost all things? You're right, we wouldn't want to plant too many trees. Just think of all the CO2 that might be absorbed. Huh? You got me there. Well, when is it enough? Trees. No, selfishness! How long must we act selfishly until Thomas is ready to start putting more good into the world? A good question for another time. But I'm sure you'd have us believe that time
Okay,
will
so
never come.
maybe that has
And even
something
if it
to
does,
do with
what's to
something.
stop you from telling us that we've done enough good for others when maybe we could do more? Oh, Thomas dropped a dime in the St. Jude charity box. What a good boy you are, Thomas. Nay, I say! We are ethically compromised if we give the banana conda a seat at the
Banana conda.
I don't know that we are. We can't trust him. He's asking us to go back on things we've known for years. Rights and wrongs. Shoulds and shouldn'ts. How can we trust him? I don't have a simple answer to that question.
Gonna tell you
Here's a
your name.
start.
You gonna tell us your name?
My name? My name is Janice.
What?
Janice? What are you, a middle school librarian? It's a stupid name. Oh, Roman, thank God you don't have a mustache. Otherwise, between you and Remus, I would know who the evil twin is.
Wait, why
Are you
Janice?
seriously going to take his side? Why? Over me? Thomas. I thought I was your hero. You are. Wow. I can't believe this. Did you forget that he's evil? You're not. Or you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to be good. You can't, Roman. Everything's gonna be okay, kiddo. We love you.
Oh God, wait.
Janice, do you think there's a limit on how many times someone can say sorry before you have to admit that they're just bad for you? Oh, definitely not. I'd love for someone to ruin Thomas's entire life one apology at a time. Okay? The reality is that it depends on what? Where to start? How many things have they had to apologize for? How frequently do they have to apologize for things? How terrible were the things that they did? One of the biggest factors, in my very humble opinion, is whether or not they seem to be making an honest effort to do better, even if that effort is counterproductive. That does sound very annoying. Again, it depends. I guess I know who I need to apologize to. I'm so sorry, Leslie.
Come on.
It's okay. Just hope today we all learned not to... Thank you, Leslie. Yes, Leslie Odom Jr., everyone. Thank you. Yes, thank you. This is Sandra Sides, not Odom Sides. I'm not threatened at all. And Thomas, yes? I think I finally understand what my problem has been. Oh, yeah? Time. When you were younger, pointing you in the right direction was a little easier. Those examples I gave earlier, don't kill, don't steal, they're not really difficult conclusions to come to. Even those can get kind of complicated. I don't want to think about that. But maybe that proves my point. A more mature person comes with more mature moral questions. Like I told you before, sometimes I don't know the way. But when I told you that, you were so scared. I couldn't bear it. So I said to myself, all right, Patton, Thomas needs you. You're responsible for his morality. You can never not have an answer for him. And then I promised you I'd keep fighting. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that giving too simple of answers to complicated questions can do more harm than good. So, I'm sorry. Again, it's okay, Pat. I know you'll do anything you can to make things right. Thanks for trusting me still, you know. I'm gonna go check out Rowan. Before you go, I think I understand now what it means to see being here as a part of me. Oh. Yeah? Yeah, that's cool. Talk about me like I'm not here. Yeah. And it's not that I'm an evil liar or even a fractionally fiendish fibber. Everyone has a capacity for deceit, including me. And all that means is I'm not perfect. Just like anyone else. And those imperfections don't make you any less worthy of love. Janice, I'll take care of it. So, I suppose now we begin compiling a list of people we need to nudge down a flight of stairs until they hold another round of callbacks. Oh my gosh, no, relax, I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding.
Gotta keep on your
toes.
toes.
No steps. And no throwing people down them. No violence. You're right, of course. There are much less barbaric, much more fun forms of sabotage. Don't make me regret trusting you. I don't want to be stuck with an evil snake boy. You're not stuck with an evil snake boy. You're just stuck with a snake boy. Oh, brother. But seriously, using a mobile game to hide from your sadness and regret at the wedding doesn't count as leisure time. Take some time for yourself, Thomas. You're right. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? I couldn't hear you. You're right. Yes! It feels so good! So good! And I know how much you love these constant dilemmas, so please, keep overthinking everything. Yeah, I do need to work on that. While there is likely more that you can do to put good into the world, you shouldn't beat yourself up over what you can't do, or what you haven't done before. It doesn't help anyone, so don't overthink it. Just try. All you have to do is try your best to be helpful and to do your part, whatever that is, with the understanding that you can never get doing good down to a science. It's going to look different for everyone. And don't be afraid to give to yourself either. If someone else ever did as much for you as you've probably done for yourself, you would owe them everything. Treat yourself the way you would treat someone who has endlessly labored to give you a better life, or who has always helped you to remain on your feet through the toughest, most emotionally challenging periods of your life. Try to find your balance between doing good for others and doing good for yourself, because finding a universally correct balance between the two is impossible. And sometimes painful. So just trust yourself. Until next time, take it easy, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Peace out. Hey, guys. Sorry, bud.
I forgot. You don't like door yelling.
No worries. It wasn't so much the yelling as it was people at my door.
Oh my gosh, I love you.
Yeah, can you actually marry both of us now?
Yes, please. I really want to spend the last 2 pennies in my bank account on my second wedding.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't be tamed. And it looks like you're gonna have to terrify some other more docile match than tame.
Almost had him.
I know. You didn't tell me you guys were coming over. What's up?
Well, we just felt kind of bad because you made it all the way out to our wedding and we barely got to hang out with you.
Oh, what? I barely even noticed.
Really? Because you were sitting alone at the reception.
I was just trying to take it all in. You know, a lot of mental snapshots. Trying to go less digital this year.
But you're on your phone.
I was also taking literal snapshots with my phone. I mean,
Come on.
phones are barely digital at this point, right?
Totally.
Well, regardless, we thought we'd try to win back your friendship by bribing you with some treats.
What? You guys didn't have to do that.
Mimosa and pastry.
Brunch Tuesdays.
Brunch Tuesday.
Little throwback.
Oh my goodness gracious! It looks like we're gonna make it the most this afternoon with some mimosas.
So this is like what you do for a living? Comedy?
Yeah, I'm a hack.
Well, are you busy? We could just leave these with you.
Oh no, I was just playing Kingdom Hearts, a game that really centers around the concept of friendship. Would you care to join me?
Why would you even ask us that?
What about us showing up at your door with a bunch of brunch and some booze juice? Makes you think that we enjoy your company.
Cool, come in. We can also do something else if you don't want to play video games. Well, seems like things worked out after all. Guess I was wrong about everything. You and I both know that's not true. Go outside and be cool. Watch me outside. Do what you can do.
What is up, everybody?
Scary, but I feel like... Okay. Gosh.
God, you have no idea how much that makes me so happy. Oh my god. I'm usually like this with most of my, I don't know. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But it's well, I don't want to stay here just continuing to talk like a, I don't know. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much. I almost, I was smiling so much. I'll try to have you guys finish the sentences, but I'm just so... Well, before I just happily ramble off to you, it's 9:30, as you can see on my computer. So I'll just have everyone have a good night. Peace out.